I'm really, really excited. Can you tell? I'm really, really excited. Hello, I'm Kristen, also known as Voolenvine, here on my YouTube channel, on Instagram, on Ravelry, and pretty much everywhere else on the interwebs. And as always, I'm so happy that you're taking some time out of your day to chat about all the knitting, all the sewing, all the making, or whatever crafty rabbit hole I happen to be diving down this week. And yeah, it is another hot day here in Bushwick, Brooklyn, and where I am coming to you from. And I have some knitting to share with you, I have some sewing to share with you, and yeah, just the general format of the podcast. Business as usual today, guys. But yeah, as always, we do have some knit-alongs that are happening. We have the Box of Socks knit-along, we have the Year of the Garment knit-along. All those can be found over in the Voolenvine Ravelry group, where you can go to chat about all the episodes, partake in our make-alongs, and just join the general chatter, ask questions, share your projects. It's a lively group, and I highly recommend that you check it out. So yeah, we have those knit-alongs happening, and then we have the Uncomfort Zone knit-along, make-along, that is almost coming to a close. I extended the deadline to August 1st, which is quickly coming upon us, so if you haven't already, you still have time to jump in, join us, and make something that's completely out of your comfort zone. Be it a color palette that you are drawn to but wouldn't necessarily wear, be it a pattern designer that you think is really cool, but you don't think that you would generally wear some of the garments, just to kind of like experiment, dip your toes and try something new, broaden your horizon, so to speak. So it's been such a fun knit along, make along. I always want to say knit along, but it's a make along. It's open to whatever craft you want to dip your toes into, be it knitting, sewing, crochet, weaving, whatever strikes your fancy, honestly. And I do have some prizes because I am doing 2 giveaways, one for those participating in the Ravelry group and those participating on Instagram using hashtag you. All right, I'll pop it down in the down bar because the acronyms escape me. But I do have some giveaway prizes, and those are some minis that I hand-dyed. So if you are just new to this podcast and just joining us, I am a hand dyer behind Voolenvine Yarns, and I have an online shop where I sell my hand-dyed yarns for knitting, weaving, crochet, whatever your fiber art is. I have yarn for it. So anyway, I had some minis in my inventory, and if you are wondering if I am going to start dyeing minis, if you're looking for minis from me, I am not your dyer. There are many other wonderful, talented hand dyers out there that dye minis, offer minis. I'm just not that dyer. I don't have the patience, and I give kudos to all those who do dye mini skeins. I salute you, because it takes a lot of patience. I'm not gonna lie, it does. And these took quite a while for me to whip up, even though they're just 16 little mini skeins. Anyway, yeah, dyeing mini skeins is not my jam, but I had these in my stash, and instead of just letting them languish there, not in my stash, but my inventory, so they were protected from the elements and everything, and I was like, I want someone to enjoy these, so I'm gonna be dyeing up some minis to give away for the Uncomfort Zone Cal. And here they are. So one will be going to a Ravelry winner and one will be going to an Instagram winner. So, double dipping, highly encouraged, and the like. So, yay! Anyway, so yeah, these are the minis in question. They are dyed on my discontinued blitzed base, which is superwash merino, nylon, and gold and silver stellina. I want to say these have silver sparkle to them. But you can use these for pretty much anything, for your scrap blankets, for any mini skein project, for color work even. So yeah, I hope you guys are excited for that. Again, I will be closing the Ravelry thread on August 1st and choosing a winner at random using random.org, and I will be using a random hashtag generator for Instagram. And then once the giveaways are announced, I will be reopening those threads so people can continue to post in there, cheer each other on, and just share their works in progress. So I think, it's been such a fun knit along, make along, that, why not keep the party going? So anyway, yay, those will be the giveaway prizes. And I think that is it for announcements this week. Yeah, so I'm going to get into what I've been making, but before I do, just a quick word from my lovely and amazing sponsor, Skillshare. Skillshare is an online learning community with thousands of classes in design, business, tech, and more, even sewing and the fiber arts. I love learning new things when it comes to knitting, sewing, photography, or whatever crafty rabbit hole I happen to be diving down. And because I know you love learning new things too, I partnered up with Skillshare and they are offering my viewers 2 months free to try their platform. So give Skillshare a go and learn something new. Just click on the link in the description box below, entering the code at checkout, and enjoy. And thanks, Skillshare. And welcome back. All right, so as I mentioned last week, I am going to frog my ripple bralette just because it's something that I realized I'm probably not going to wear. It's not really my style, and let's face it, the weather out there is apocalyptic. So there's no way I'm going to be wearing a woolly tank top in this weather. So I've just kind of listened to my gut and decided to frog the ripple bralette, unfortunately. Again, nothing wrong with the pattern. It's a wonderful pattern. It's just not my jam. I think I would need some other yarn, either, you know, like a linen or a cotton blend, which I will be totally honest, I'm not too crazy about knitting with. And, you know, thank you so much to everybody who suggested that, you know, I could possibly wear it as a layering piece come autumn. Well, that's a wonderful idea. It's unfortunately not really my style. So I'm gonna frog it, guys, and call it a day and repurpose the yarn, obviously, for some socks or another lovely project or shawl, maybe. I don't know. I could even see fading that yarn. But anyway, I digress. Let's talk about what I did cast on, because while I don't want to wear a woolly bralette in this heat, my personal brand of crazy made me want to cast on a Love Note. Love Note is a pattern by Tincanknits. It's one of their newest patterns. I believe their most recent, if I'm not mistaken. But it caught my eye. I dyed up, again, this is my hand-dyed yarn, Voolenvine yarns, in my Nouveau base. I don't know if you can see this. This is my Nouveau base, my superwash single ply merino, held together with my Ghost lace, which is a lace weight merino kid silk haze type of yarn, so to speak, and this looks like yarn barf right now because it's squished up on needle, so I'll just hold up the yarn. And this is in my Bronte colorway, which is inspired by the Bronte sisters, because I love me some gothic romance novels, and the Brontes are hands down my favorite authors when it comes to that genre. So I had to dedicate a colorway to them. And this is that colorway. So obviously I wanted to knit something with it, and I was browsing Ravelry like you do, and the Love Note popped up, and I was like, that is exactly what I want to knit on right now. Yes, mohair, merino wool, in 80 to 90 degree Fahrenheit weather. I am a glutton for punishment. So I cast it on 2 days ago, and I'm working my way through the lace yoke. It is just such a... It ticks all the boxes when it comes to like my style and aesthetic, and this is definitely a process and product in it for me, because I feel like it has just the right amount of lace, and then after you're done with the yoke, it's all just stockinette in the round, smooth sailing, couple of shaping rounds I imagine, but then, you know, it's all pretty much smooth sailing from there. And of course I did not swatch because the pattern does call for a significant amount of ease. They say you should actually have about like 4 to 12 inches of ease. I'm going with 7 inches, so it's going to be like a nice relaxed layering piece, I want to say, just to chuck on over come fall over a dress or a skirt or what have you. So yeah, that's where I'm going with this. I, again, did not swatch, so I cast on using the recommended needle size, which is a US size 10, which is US size 10, 6.0 millimeter needles, using a 16-inch Chiao red lace needle. And I think eventually I'm going to be switching over to possibly a 24-inch circular or a 32-inch circular, just so I can see and read my knitting more easily. And it is loud outside my window as usual. Yeah, so right now I'm just working through the lace repeat. I don't know if you can see that. There we go. Yeah, so you can see that lace motif forming right there. And yeah, I've been knitting on it inside in the air conditioning, so I haven't been a total glutton for punishment, but yeah, I surprised myself casting on this project in the dead of heat. But yeah, that is the project that I'm currently working on as well. And I know I still have my soldotna that I'm working on. I have not forgotten it. I actually finished knitting the color work around one of the sleeves, and now I'm onto the ribbing. So, but you know, it's not, from what I shared with you last time I showed it on the podcast, it's nothing new. So I think the next time I show that, it's probably going to be a little bit cooler weather. And yeah, I definitely want to have that ready for fall and the like. So anyway, that's where I am with that project. And I'll pop something in the doobly-doo up here, so you can, you know, if you have no idea what I'm talking about, you can hop on over to that episode where I talk about this old don't know episode. But yeah, that is my knitting for this week. Again, it's been so hot. The knitting content is a little bit lighter, I feel like. And there's a plane going over my house. Yes. Anyway, but yeah, because of the heat, I feel like the knitting content's been just a little bit lighter this time around. But there has been some more sewing, so I guess we will just proceed on to the sewing content of the podcast. As for sewing, okay, I do have a finished object to share with you, and I did post about this on my Instagram feed over the weekend. I sewed another Lizzie skirt, and I'll try and pop a photo of it here on the screen. This is a wonderful, simple, easy pattern, great for beginners, by Sew Over at London. I've made this skirt before using more elaborate, more elegant, formal fabric. It was this corded lace that I used, and I'll pop a photo of that here so you can see it as well. But I wanted a version that I could get more wear out of, that I can wear on a more casual basis. So I made this version, which I'll pop on the screen so you can see. And yeah, that is fabric that I purchased from my recent trip to Mood Fabrics in New York City. It is kind of like this black charcoal, like this dark gray charcoal eyelet fabric by Anna Sui, and it's lined with just some basic poplin that's kind of like this mauvey mushroom color, and I think it just kind of like adds some really cool layering dimension to the eyelet fabric. So yeah, I'm wearing it today. You can't see it because, as usual, if it's a skirt, it's kind of like out of frame. So I will stand up for the awkward finished garment pose that we all know and love. So yeah, here's the waistband, and I did kind of, you know, measure it. It's not perfect, but I did manage to get the eyelet to match up to the waistband. And let me see if I can move the chair out of the way so you can see here. And yeah, it's just this really, I'm so in love with the way this turned out, you guys. It's just such a really simple, easy pattern. Highly recommend it. I do have a tale of woe because the fabric, the eyelet fabric, is so incredibly fragile. Even when I was sewing it, it was so prone to tears, and yeah, and now that it's done, it's so, like, I'm very heartbroken. I'm not gonna lie. I'm very heartbroken with how this dress has been holding up, this skirt. It's been proving to be incredibly delicate, even though it's not been getting any hard wear. I've just been wearing it, you know, after work, just casually, going to the grocery store, what have you. But if my fingers get caught in one of the eyelets, it just tears apart. And I've actually mended several holes already, one being in the hem. Let me see if I can, thankfully it's, you know, very forgiving because it's such a dark color. It hides a lot of these mending stitches, but you can see right there I had to mend it together, and then there were certain points on here, and then this morning I put it on, and yeah, I just seriously tore another piece, but you will not be able to see this, but look at that. Yeah, that just, I don't know how this happened. I put the skirt on, and I think one of my fingers caught into one of the, you know, the eyelet holes here, and it tore, just disintegrated, basically, which is incredibly unfortunate because, yeah, that is a significant hole. I'm not really sure how I'm going to mend it, and I feel like there's only so many holes I can mend on this skirt before I start to look like Cinderella in rags. I mean, yeah, it's I don't know. It's really sad. I don't know, you know, and I really enjoyed wearing this skirt, and I'm just trying to enjoy it, while it lasts. I don't know. Yeah, I'm really, really sad about that. And I worked really hard on the pockets too. This has pockets. I did line the pockets here, so, but again, and these are the pockets are holding up a lot better because I guess it's reinforced with the lining. And I even created like slits in the actual lining so the pockets go into the lining slits so you don't see the pockets on the outside through the eyelets on, on the underside. So, yeah, a little tale of woe for you guys. Yeah, I was really proud of this make, but yeah, the way it's holding up is just, it's not holding up. It's literally disintegrating. Every single time I wear it, a new tear pops up and it breaks my heart. So yeah, unfortunately, that is the fate of this skirt. But yeah, I really enjoyed making it. I'm enjoying it while it's still, presentable. But yeah, I have a feeling the more I wear it, this is just going to have to be like, I don't even know what's going to happen after I mend this hole. It's probably just going to look like crap. Who knows? I don't know. Any advice? Let me know. Let me know, guys, how I can save this skirt. But at this point, I think the fabric is just so fragile. There's no saving it. But yeah, anyway, that is the story of Lizzie skirt version 2. But on to bigger, brighter, better things, because as I mentioned last week, I'm going to be hosting a sew-along. So last week I presented the idea of possibly doing a sew-along for the zinnia skirt by Colette Patterns. That was the skirt that I was wearing last week, and you guys came out and said, yes, you would love to do a sew-along. However, one lovely viewer pointed out that the zinnia skirt only goes up to a size, I want to say 38 waist. So that is a little problem if you have a larger waist and you would like to participate in the sew-along. So I think to make things more inclusive and size-friendly, I decided to choose a pattern that I feel like everyone would be able to participate in. So, but I know a lot of you wanted to do a zinnia skirt sew-along, but for this first sew-along, I think I'm going to choose just a more size-inclusive pattern, so whoever wants to participate can participate. So I went ahead and decided to do the Brumby skirt, which is a beautiful pattern by Nielson, an independent sewing pattern company, and it's very similar, very beginner-friendly. It's a gathered, it's a simple gathered skirt with a waistband, and it has pockets, and instead of buttons down the center, it has a zipper down the back. So I feel like it's incredibly beginner friendly. I still have yet to sew it. I think this weekend I'm going to make one for myself, get familiar with the process, and then make another version for the sew along. So I will pop a link to that pattern down below for those who want to participate in the make along, but I think it's going to be really, really exciting, and I'm going to have so much fun filming it. So I'm really, really excited about that. I'm really, really excited. Can you tell? I'm really, really excited. So hopefully those wanting to participate in the sew-along will find that pattern appealing, and again, super beginner friendly. And I will officially announce the sew-along on Instagram and hopefully the podcast the next time I record. So yeah, check out the pattern, gather your materials, and we will, let's do this. So I'm very, very, very excited. As I said 100 times. I do have some sewing plans for this weekend. I'm probably going to make a Brumby skirt, as I mentioned. I did jump on a sale. Butterick and McCall's and Vogue and Quick Sew, that whole umbrella of Big Five patterns, we're having a sale this week. So lots of patterns for $3.99, $2.99. I hopped on that bandwagon and treated myself to some patterns, so those are coming in the mail. And then I also, I was browsing Megan Nielsen's website, more of her patterns, and she has a jeans pattern. God, I forgot what they're called. I think they're the Ash jeans. She has the Dawn jeans, which are more high-waisted, relaxed fit, but then she also has the Ash jeans, which are kind of like a mid-waist fitted jean. And they all have like different versions, but I don't know. I got it in my head where I'm just like, you know what? The time has come for me to tackle jeans. So I think I ordered fabric from fabric.com to make a pair of jeans. So I ordered some black stretch fabric. And I'm gonna tackle jeans very soon in the near future. So yeah, guys, jeans, it's happening. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. It's gonna happen. So anyway, I think that is it for the sewing content. So I am going to move along to Blather, but just a quick heads up about my shop update. I am having an update Friday, July 26th at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. It is going to be it is going to be a smaller update this week because I had to dye the yarn for the yarn clubs, the Gothic yarn clubs, which are shipping. The Yarn Clubs, the first installment, is shipping this week, first thing. So I hope those of you who signed up for it are excited to receive their first installment. I dyed the colorways yesterday, and I am thrilled with the way that they turned out. So I can't wait to get those out to you. But yes, the update will be a little smaller than usual, but there will still be yarn in the shop. So, you know, definitely if you haven't already, as I mention every week, sign up for the newsletter. When you do so, you'll be looped into what yarn bases and what colorways will be in each update and all of their news surrounding Voolenvine yarns. I generally send out a newsletter on Thursdays, a day before the actual update. So if you haven't already, feel free to sign up if the spirit moves you. So yeah, that said, I'm gonna move along to Blather, a segment where I chat about what's been happening in my life, should you care to stick around. And I am trying to think. Yes, reading. I think I totally forgot to mention that I finished reading Rebecca, a wonderful Gothic thriller by Rebecca de Maurier, and highly recommend it. Her writing is just so descriptive, so incredible. It's unlike anything I've ever read before, and it, you know, it ticks all the boxes when it comes to Gothic novels. It has the house, the, you know, like not that there's a ghost in the story, but I think the characters in the story create the ghost that is Rebecca, and it's just like the way she twists the story and everything. I don't know. Highly recommend it if you haven't read it already. Alfred Hitchcock actually did a movie based on the book, which I want to. Well, I haven't seen it in so long, in many, many years, so it's definitely a movie that I plan to revisit in the near future. Another audiobook that I just finished listening to is Carmilla. Totally blanking on the author's name, but it predates Dracula by Bram Stoker, and it's a short story, and Audible actually did a dramatization of it. So what by that I mean they kind of reworked it, or you know, to kind of make it more like movie-like when you're listening to it. I know David Tennant is one of the narrators, and I'm blanking on her name, but she was in Game of Thrones. She played Jon Snow's wildling girlfriend. So she's in there, and then yeah, it just like the whole performance was just so well done. I believe it was only like a 2-hour audiobook, so really quick listen. I listened to it while I was dyeing yarn, and it just held my attention so well, and it was so creepy, and just I think a little bit like it's been a while since I've read Dracula, but or even seen the movie, but it was just, you know, the whole storyline was just so unlike anything I've, you know, heard before. So that is definitely something to check out. It's very, very creepy. So yeah, that is what I've been listening to. Trying to think what else. Podcasts. Again, I've been binge listening to the Love to Sew podcast. I absolutely love, love, love that podcast. It's just so entertaining to listen to. Yeah, and I'm trying to think. I think that is it. Yeah, just laying low this weekend, sewing. Bella has a vet appointment tomorrow, so unfortunately I've got to take her to the vet. And you know, Judgy, for those of you wondering how Judgy is doing, our backyard stray cat that frequents our backyard, I spoil that cat rotten. I kid you not. Like every day she comes up to our deck and I feed her, I give her water. She has her little house, you know, that I bought for her for the winter, which she used pretty much every single day. Every time I went out there, she's just kind of like hanging out in her little house. And yeah, she still uses it to keep cool in the summer. But yeah, she's hanging out. She's doing really well. And, you know, she says hello. So that is the Judgy update. And we call her Judgy because every time, you know, you look at her in the face, she just has this perpetual look of judgment, like she's judging you. Yeah, so anyway, that's why we call her Judgy McFerrell. You know, yeah, so, all right, guys. that is it for this week. As always, thank you so much for hanging out for me. I put out an episode every Friday, although I'm working to possibly publish an episode earlier in the week, but that's still kind of TBD, up in the air at the moment. But if you like this episode, please feel free to like and subscribe below. And I will see you next time. Happy knitting, happy sewing, happy making. Bye!